The Old Man's Irish Pub is open. Welcome. Uh, with the lighting back behind me and everything, it might be hard to tell, but it's extremely cloudy, kind of rainy, windy. You can probably hear that on the microphone. Uh, Today in the pub, was sitting there just thinking, what nice drink could I have on a cold spring day that would be fitting and appetizing, that would hit right. Um, it made me think, well, I wonder if people have different drinks. I know the only thing that's really stood out to me is on a nice spring day, not today, a nice spring day where it's nice and warm and sunny and everything. A green spot, a standard green spot, just I don't think there's anything that's better to my palate as that green spot with the orchards. And I mean, it just says spring, and you taste spring in your mouth. So I typically don't drink green spot unless I have those conditions. And it just made me wonder, is there something else out there, or you guys tell me. Do you have a certain pour that you pour at a specific time, or certain conditions? Kind of a similar situation, chili. People make and eat chili all year long, but for the most part, and with me, and I'm sure a lot of people, that you get a cold spring, cold fall, even winter, getting a nice hot pot of chili going and eating that just kind of hits the spot. Tastes a little bit better than, something you were having in, say June or July, August, somewhere in there. It doesn't suit you, or maybe a stew or something like that. It seems to go better on a cold day, dreary day. That just kind of sets really good with you. On the other side of it, a nice fresh seafood salad, or something light and fresh, with the vegetables and that kind of thing. Maybe that's something that you have more in the summer, on those warm days to kind of suit your palate and suit the conditions and everything. So, like I said, I'm wondering, what do you guys think about on whiskey? Is there a certain whiskey that you drink for certain occasions or certain conditions, or I know most of you have a special bottle that'll only come out at special times, a birthday or a anniversary, or a graduation or something like that, and hey, I've got that too. I've got a few of those bottles that I've got earmarked as special bottles for when certain occasions come up. But I'm talking more about like today, kind of rainy, drizzly, cold. It should be warm, it should be nice, I should be out here, just enjoying my green spot. But the weather's just not dictating that to me now. So what do you guys do? What is your drink for what occasion? For this one here, I mean, this might be a little controversial to some, but I got a Clan Cola 7-year-old. It's by Ashcroft Distillery in Ashcroft, Ireland. A little story about them is it's a couple that bought an old mill there in Ashcroft. It had been closed down, I think, like in the 1950s. They shut down the mill, and they came in and they thought this would be a perfect place to build up their distillery. And it's a beautiful distillery. I went there last March on Irish Whiskey Experiences, and we went in there and had a tour of the place and had some really. They let us sample some new make, which is just phenomenal. I really wish they would bottle that. And I'm trying to get, or I've requested redacted, try to get with them and get a bottle of that to where they could sell it, because it's just a really great new make whiskey. But anyway, they bought this mill and they converted it into a whiskey distillery. And I know for a fact it's the very first zero emissions distillery in Ireland. But the thought is it's probably the first zero emissions distillery in the world. you know, they got heat pumps and everything that they're doing, and to power everything, and they recycle the heat and the steam and all that kind of stuff to do all the stuff that they're doing there. It's a great concept, and like I said, it's a beautiful distillery. They've got a place across the road, you know, that has their tasting room and that kind of stuff, and that's really nice over there too. And they've got a few other things going on in that town. So if you happen to be going to Ireland, run up to Ashcroft if you're in that neck of the woods, outside of Galway there. And maybe an hour or 30 minutes. Yeah, probably 45 minutes, I'm guessing. But yeah, it's a beautiful facility, great people, and they're doing a great job. In fact, this 7-year-old, it's a grain whiskey that was aged in ex-bourbon barrels, and then it was put into Panamanian rum casks and finished in there. I did my time in the service in Panama, and it's like, you know what, I probably had some of the rum that these barrels came from. Probably not the same barrels, but the same brand and whatever. I thought, oh, that'd be really cool, you know, something to, and as you know, stories tie into my desire for doing this. So, you know, I thought that'd be a pretty cool story to have an Irish whiskey that was aged in Panamanian casks. So I bought a bottle online. They didn't have it wasn't this wasn't available in the States at the time. I think they have a little bit of distribution in the States now, but so I bought this online and I got it in. Another thing that sold me on it is it says it's Christmas in a glass, and it's like, well, who doesn't like Christmas, you know? So I got it, and I think this might be the bottle of whiskey that just wowed me and made me decide that digging deeper into this Irish genre is what I need to do, because it's just an exceptional whiskey. Not my favorite, but it is a great one. I actually picked this bottle up when I was at the distillery there last year, and as you can tell, it's not very far down, because I'm scared to run out of it again, because I don't know if I'll be able to get it again anytime soon. So I'm kind of just taking my time with it, and I've got plenty of other whiskeys that I got to try to taste and everything like that. But you know, like I said, I thought this would go good. It's like I say, got Christmas in a glass, so I mean, you got those warm baking spices and you know, that kind of thing. That warms you up. You know, it may not warm you up to your taste, but you know, in your mind it'll warm you up. Maybe the Christmas, you know, in April here, maybe the Christmas side of it won't. Maybe it'll make me think it's December with as chilly as it out today. But got just a great nose on it. Yep, the baking spices, that's hitting really nice right now. You know, not to say, you know, in June when it's 100 degrees out here, it's not going to be nice too. But like I said, this is pretty good. I'm happy with this one. I'm going to enjoy it. You can see how cold it is out here. I'm steaming up my glass with my breath. But no, like I said, I didn't plan on doing this, but I was thinking about this, and I thought, you know what? This is going to be, I'm going to go out and do this, and I'm going to ask those of you who do follow, give me your thoughts, you know, or anybody that watches, give me your thoughts. Do you have a whiskey that, and it doesn't have to be Irish, I'd prefer it to be Irish, you know, but just what whiskey do you have, and what's the conditions? You know, what do you drink when it's a day like today, or you know, what do you prefer? What whiskey do you prefer when it's, you know, 90 degrees and sunny, or you know, something like that? Or what whiskey do you have, or what whiskey do you prefer after a, you know, a very nice meal and your after dinner drink or whatever? Is there something there that you really lean on? Or do you just, hey, I just need a nice whiskey after that? I guess maybe even This morning I had an Irish coffee, and I posted that on there. And I did it with a J.J. Corey, the lock-in. Great Irish whiskey there, or Irish coffee. Both of them, Irish whiskey and Irish coffee. But is there a favorite whiskey you like to have in the morning in your coffee? When you're allowed, of course. Of course, I always want everybody to drink responsible and everything like that. But, so let me know what you guys think. You know, give me some of your things. Maybe you'll give me something that it's like, hey, you know, that sounds like something that would go pretty good. And next time I come up on that situation, I'll give it a try and I'll let you know. But anyway, I think that's it. I hope everybody enjoyed this, and I'd really like to see some opinions here, because I am curious on what people drink on different situations. So anyway, remember, it's your whiskey, drink it your way, and enjoy it. Thank you.